Whereas the anti-terror operations in Jammu and Kashmir's Akhnoor has entered day 2. In fact, the Indian Army and the J&K police have continued with the crackdown after locals suspected that 3 to 4 terrorists were spotted in the Akhnoor area of Jammu and Kashmir, and the anti-terror operations have continued today, which is the day 2 of it. In fact, we also learned that the searches that are being conducted by the J&K police and the Indian Army are ranging from the upper ridges as well as the riverbeds in the Jogwan area of Akhnoor in Jammu. Now, do note that the upper reaches of Jogwan, which is very close to the line of control, is also being searched by the joint forces. In fact, yesterday the search operation was launched after locals spotted 3 to 4 suspected terrorists in the area. Do note that in October of last year, 3 Jaish terrorists were also killed in the same area of Jogwan, where now the search operations are taking place this time around after locals spotted 3 to 4 suspected terrorists in the area. Whereas the Akhnoor terror operations are continuing as it enters day 2, we learned that day 2 operations have continued after locals suspected 3 to 4 terrorists to be in the area. In fact, I'd like to bring in my colleague Gursimran, who's joining us live. Gursimran, just take us through as the anti-terror operations really have come to day 2 today. What are the updates with the Indian Army and J&K police, and any information on the suspected terrorists really?
See, when it comes to the information regarding the suspect terrorists, they were spotted by the members of the village defense group that were there in the area. It was day before yesterday, late last night, when they were spotted, 3 to 4 terrorists, and then they went towards the uphills. That is the ridges that are there close to the line of control, because this area is somewhere 3 to 4 kilometers in an aerial distance from the line of control, and there lies high probability that the terrorists will try to sneak in. Reason being that the day when the terrorists were spotted, that day it was a dense fog and the visibility was less than 5 meters in that very area of the Jogwan, and it was suspected that there will be infiltration attempt from across the border. And then came the news that the locals have seen 3 to 4 suspects in the area. The search operations have been launched by the Indian Army along with the Jammu and Kashmir police in the area. The operations are underway in the Jogwan area, in the Dakkar village, the Dakkar bridge, the Munawwar Tawi that flows through, and also the Assan area where the encounter took place in the October 2024.
Thank you,
wherein 3 Jaish terrorists were killed.
Coming in as the anti-terror operations entered day 2, we learned that the suspected terrorists have breached the upper ridges, which are very close to the line of actual control. But that is what the anti-terror operations are still continuing, and the search operations are continuing. Now let's turn our attention to the US, where now the day is away. Really, on January 28th, US President-elect Donald Trump is all set to be sworn in for the 2nd term, and we learned that External Affairs Minister S. Jaishankar is likely to represent India during the swearing-in ceremony. In fact, we've learned that Jaishankar has received the invitation from the Trump-Vance Inauguration Committee and is likely to represent India on January 20th in Washington, D.C. as part of the swearing-in ceremony of Donald Trump. Do note that Donald Trump will be sworn in as the US President for the 2nd term now on January 28th, just really days away from it. And we learned that External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar is all set to represent India at the swearing-in ceremony. In fact, he has received the invitation from the Trump-Vance Inauguration Committee, with External Affairs Minister now Jaishankar all set to represent India.